Welcome back to Paradyme Podcast, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today, we're going to be continuing our discussion on Beyond Good and Evil by Friedrich Nietzsche in Chapter 4, Aphorisms and Interludes. We're getting close to the end of this chapter, but these are, as we say, tweets from the past. So we're going to continue reading at 149, aphorism 149, and I'll start. That which an age considers evil is usually an unseasonable echo of what was formerly considered good, the atavism of an old ideal. And atavism is a reappearance of traits from a distant past.
Yeah, I mean, I just watched the show that kind of is giving me like imagery of it, but I mean, typically it's like the age old like thing of like you live long enough to see yourself become a villain, you know?
Yeah.
Like typically a villain is someone who like once had ideas of being like a hero, you know, so had like good principles and like whatever happened, it caused him to inverse everything, you know, and that's just what it made me think of. I don't know what he's trying to get at, but that's just my first thought when I was reading it.
It makes me think of like things we considered good at one point in time in, like, let's say American history that ended up being considered evil later as we progressed over time. Would eugenic, where people's intelligence was dependent on their racial makeup, right? Like that idea in the past was, this is what it is. This is the good thing. Like, this is what we study, you know? And as we've gotten past that, we now look back on that idea as an evil idea, when in the past it was considered good.
I see that.
Like John's saying, you know, you live long enough to, you know, think that you're actually the worst. So like you live to be good, and then you live long enough to figure out that you were doing the wrong thing the whole time.
True.
You have another idea, John? Example?
Yeah, I mean, where I live, the community college used to be called Lord Fairfax. Lord Fairfax is the guy who just came here from England, and he was like, all of this is mine. And they recently renamed it to Laurel Ridge because it turns out like he used to own slaves or whatever, and like for so long he was like a lord, you know.
Right.
Like a lot of things are named after him. He like donated money to lots of things to like seed this area and like establish this area, and then like we go far enough past like that stuff happening, and they're like, he's a villain, you know. Which I'm not saying he was a good guy. I don't know him, but like it's just funny. Like they had to rename the college, you know, because they're like, no, he's actually a bad guy. But like 50 years ago, probably sort of been like still like considered a good guy.
Yeah.
This made me think about the idea of the eternal return. Like no matter how much progress we make with like our morals, our ideals as a nation or whatever, like the return of morals back to something evil is just like constant, and then calling it good again, like it just like it's a revolving wheel.
Yeah,
I can see that.
It's a good idea. And then at some point it'll be considered good again, and it'll be considered evil again.
Yeah, just like Sig, it's like we're so back. The horses are on the cigarettes. They're cool again, but soon they'll be bad again. We're right another cool guy.
Bring back Beyond.
Bowling's good again. All right, pretty sweet.
Yeah. All right. Aphorism 150. Around the hero, everything becomes a tragedy. Around the demigod, everything becomes a satire play. And around God, everything becomes what? Perhaps a world.
This one was kind of hard for me to understand. Sam, do you guys have anything off the hip before I shoot?
I mean, wait, was it? I was just watching the show called Fate, okay, and like, kind of one of the characters made me think about something like this. He's supposed to be like Jack the Ripper or something, but his like partner talks about how like for God, like if life's like a play or whatever, of course, like when he kills people, when he does evil things, it's actually in tribute to God. That's what this character was saying, because like for when God's like playing with everybody, for him to be able to make a hero, he needs to have like a real villain. So like the hero and the villain can both be praying to the same God with like inverse ideals, and like God plays both sides of them because like he's the ultimate like rider of the cosmos, you know. So for him to like set the play, which is like the earth, and like to set like the hero, like he needs to have someone like equally its opposite to like to make the play interesting, or it wouldn't be fun at all. It wouldn't be a drama at all. And that's what I thought of when I read this.
Yeah, yeah. The inverse correlation, like, in order for, I'm just going to use a demigod an example. In order for a demigod to exist, there has to be the opposite of that for a demigod to even have that definition or have that name. That's I think something like clicked when John was explaining it. Like, there, in order for the inverse to exist, there has to be both sides of the playing field, and it wouldn't have a definition or a meaning or a purpose. There would be no meaning behind the purpose if there was no opposite of the purpose, right? Like, our good and moral are based in not committing evil morals or doing frowned upon things, and that's how we position ourselves as good, having good moral or a good ethic, because we know what not to do. And there's like a core. I don't know. It's just the inversion is like it clicked in my mind.
Do you think tragedy is the inversion of hero?
Somewhat. I think of like Superman, right? He comes and saves people. Just the simple simple idea of Superman.
Well, for me, like a hero's tale has tragedy in it because he's a hero, you know? And like, if there was no tragedy, there'd be no reason for him to become a hero, you know? Keeping that in mind, like setting the stage, I feel like he's like, everything becomes what? Perhaps a world? Like, God's the God of everybody in the play, whether he's the hero or not, you know? I don't know. I'm just thinking about, yeah. I don't know.
It definitely got me thinking about like the nature of the idea of morality and different stories and characters, and like thinking about like demigods. Like I read stories or play like video games like God of War, like, you know, like where is it Kratos is like a demigod or he becomes one, but he also is a villain in the storyline, you know. But like just thinking about a demigod, like they can be a hero, but they're like half a god too. So it's a six tier play. So it's like they're kind of just.
Well, think about this. Like, okay, think if you're a normal human and like everything around you is a tragedy because like it's a play, right? But then think if you're Hercules facing the same things, what would be satire? You know, you're literally Hercules. You know, like so like
something like
you're already someone that can like see way past all like the hurdles like a normal man would face. You know, and if you're God, there are no hurdles. You know, I don't know off the head.
No, that makes sense. God's staring at the world because he's God. Like, you can only look at it that way. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, yeah, go for it.
I had to go to ChatGPT for a little assistance on this one. And what I got was Nietzsche is drawing a distinction between different levels of being and their impact. The scale of influence is very vast when it comes to the divine. So like the hero begets the tragedy, the demigod begets the satire play, and God gets the world. So like there's an impact on the kind of level.
I think we were getting pretty close to it towards the end of that. I think we're getting pretty close to that. See,
yeah,
we're almost as smart as the computers. We're catching up.
All right, let's go. Scroll.
151?
Yeah.
It is not enough to possess a talent. One must also have your permission to possess it. Ye, my friend. Hey, my friend.
And my friends. And my friends.
Hey, my friend. You possess talent.
All right, so let's baby step it. It is not enough to possess a talent. So,
What is talent?
Talent?
You're wrong.
We know somebody who's talented. I know somebody who's really, really tall. So they're talented enough to play basketball.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have a talent. It's not enough just to have the talent. You must also have your own permission to possess it.
Sure.
One must also have your permission to possess it.
Like,
It's
You-
kind of just like
validate. Do
no. It's kind of just like the do or learneth. You know, it's just like if you're not going to use it, then it's not yours, I guess, is it?
Right. Yeah, I think it's a self-acceptance thing. Like, you can be talented, but do you give yourself permission to like actually exploit that talent?
Yeah.
Because there's people that like,
See, the art thing is like a great example. I think tons of people have like a high caliber to actually create art, at least on paper with like painting or like pencils and stuff, better than myself, you know. But they never really take a stab at making art that often, you know?
right. So they don't have their permission to possess it.
Yeah.
their own permission.
Their own permission.
I was
Exactly.
with other people's permission. Well, I guess that makes more sense.
Well, I mean, it reads, one must also have your permission. Like, isn't that
How
like
would
your
that
own?
work?
Yeah,
Yeah,
isn't that your
How
own?
would that work as an external though? Right.
Well,
Like,
I think about, okay, sorry.
oh, go ahead, John.
The external way is like, it's always like, for example, that dude with the guitar who always wants to fucking walk around the guitar and play everywhere. People are like, dude, don't play that guitar, hero. Don't play that guitar here. And like, it's his talent, but you're not giving him permission to play it. Or like, if David wants to skateboard, he's good at skateboarding, but like, we never want to skateboard, then like, is he ever going to skateboard if he hangs out with us? You know, stuff like that. But, your friends got to be like, yeah, dude, like John's trying to do the backwards arch thing. It's just this weird thing. Let him do it. Fine. It's fine. Like, we don't have to stop him.
Yeah, I think that's why and my friends, like, because he's like making a note to that, you know, we kind of like who is talented. Some people call people that are talented not talented, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there's always that debate, like, who's more talented or whatever.
Yeah, but that's just gay. That's like very narrow way to think of it.
You can't get everybody, you know. There's some people who think Prince isn't a good musician. Like, that's
Well, they're just dumb. Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. So like, the external, I think for me, I lean towards the self-acceptance side, because like, if you're smart but you don't ever exercise it, then how smart are you really? You really don't possess it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
All right. 152. Where there is the tree of knowledge, there is always paradise. So say the most ancient and the most modern serpents.
Yeah. I mean, that's just a play on like the original Genesis, you know? Like God gave us everything. Everything. He was like, you have everything, all your needs are taken care of. You just can't know this one thing over here. That's off limits, this one thing. And the serpent is like in the is in the original story. He tells Eve, he's like, pretty sick over there. Apple's got all types of knowledge. And like just like the initial like seed of lust of like the unknown was the shackles of us, you know? So he's obviously referencing like that story, you know?
Is in this aphorism, is he using paradise as the freedom of like consciousness of like eating the apple? Or is he saying paradise meaning like you have all freedom inside of the garden?
No, I think what he's saying is in the sense of Adam and Eve, right? The tree of knowledge. So where there is the tree of knowledge, there is also paradise. So the existence of the Garden of Eden was paradise.
There was the tree.
But with that tree of knowledge comes the paradise, is what he's saying. So wherever there's a tree of knowledge, there's a paradise that surrounds it. Mm-hmm. And what he's saying is modern and ancient people, serpents, they're basically lying to you, right? And what it makes me think of is like when I did grad program and like the tree of knowledge that I was trying to climb when it came to my subject matter, the more you got into it, it ended up being more like a web, right? And you just kind of keep climbing and just get more and more and more and more and more. So the more knowledge you learn, there's always more knowledge to learn. And so this isn't necessarily a paradise. It's more of like a cave.
And not just that, it's just like in the Genesis scenario, was the more knowledge worth it?
Right.
Okay. So like sometimes like ignorance is bliss and a lot, you know, like
yep.
Things that like that's an old saying because like there's something to it, you know? the pursuit of knowledge just for knowledge's sake can maybe be like a treacherous journey, you know?
Yeah.
In Genesis, like it taught us that like for the sake of knowledge, we became shackled by like maybe consciousness. You know, the first thing we thought was like, we're naked, we need to clothe ourselves. It's like, wow. Like that, like that's like the first shackle of like shame, you know?
Yep.
And like, so we learned like about like emotions. We learned about like hate, you know? But hate also had love. So,
right.
But
now you have to see the other side of the coin. With knowledge, now you have to see the other side of the coin.
You're like, fuck, I wish I never knew that. Like, you know, that's when like, I think a lot of people in like our current society are like ostriches. Like they'd rather have their head stuck under the sand because like looking at the truth might be too hard, especially because like the lies we've accepted about like how our fucking pharma lies to us and how like they give us literally like poison and call it medicine, you know? Like the truth is like they'd rather not know, you know?
Yeah. DVD talks about on his podcast, his dad and him walking on his grandpa, and his grandpa's watching TV just laughing, you know? And Patrick's dad turns over to him and he says, be careful how many books you read, because the more books you read, the less you are like that. And like, so learning more isn't necessarily paradise in some sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it just, I remember that in grad school reading a paper and being like, this is going to be the answer. My advisor's paper, it's like it's an 84-page paper. It's the complete update on what's going on. And once I got the complete update on what's going on, I was like, oh, well, now I have a list of 100 more questions. And then you could read one paper about that one question, and then there's 100 more questions. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's not necessarily paradise. It's actually a cave. You know, you just keep walking. True. Yeah. All right. 153? Yeah, 153.
All right, I'll go for it. What is done out of love always takes place beyond good and evil. This is the one that's on the back of the... Wait, no. On the front of the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Good catch.
This one kind of took me a while to wrap my head around, too. Because I was like, isn't love always taking place in something good, you know?
No, I think about this. There's this old saying that, okay, this is how you know your girl's the one. You show up and you're like, I'll explain, but there's a dead body in the back of my car. I need your help to hide it. Like, would she help you? You know? That would be going beyond good and evil. Like, no questions asked. Can you help me? You know? Like, that's how you know she's your ride or die. You know? And like some people would, like, you know, they'd be like, no questions asked. I got you. You know?
Yeah.
That's for sure outside of good and evil. Like, there's for sure evil wrapped up in that, you know? And, you know, so there's also good that help your loved one.
It makes me think of, have you heard of crimes of passion?
Mm-hmm.
And how crimes of passion, like if a man walks in on his wife, fucking getting just, you know what I'm saying, destroyed, and the guy murders the guy, right?
Whoa.
The guy murders the adulterer.
Well, that's pretty straightforward.
They evaluate the case a little bit differently.
Yeah, but that's like pretty straightforward. I mean,
but it does take place. Yes, it's a bad thing, but now we have to look at it differently. Like it's not just beyond good and evil because this guy, it was a crime of passion. So we evaluate things a little bit differently is what it makes me think of.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Out of love, this guy loses his fucking mind and kills somebody. All right. So it can't just be a black or white thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I never really believed the adjective of love, like by saying you love someone means you love them. I never really believed in that. I always believed it was like an action. And I'm just speaking like philosophy wise, like what I've kind of grown to like understand my own principle of like love. It's a lot of action and lives in the world of like a verb rather than something that you can tell somebody and have them believe you.
You don't see love as a noun?
No.
It's not you can't. It's a thing.
I would put simply it's an action.
Well, yeah, I mean, I could see that too.
Well, I mean, it's only an action because like there's a driving force to make the engine of action work, you know? Just like, so like everything everything that we like perceive, like our six senses, like emotion being one of them, so our seventh or whatever, I don't know. Like like we assign like nouns and verbs to like things, but like love is not an action. Maybe you just look at it as like your duty because like you respect that person so much because you love someone so much. So like you look at love as like a duty or like more like transactional, I guess. And I don't. That kind of sounds bad, but like I'm trying to like make it more.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like the only reason it's a duty is because like there's an origin of emotion that is intangible that starts from within first to make you want to do the action in the first place. So that the action is like the post of like the origin of love coming from out of you or out of a other person. You just see love happening as an action because like it like you can actually audit that and be like, you did these things for me.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah,
with all.
love is definitely a verb in a lot of cases, but at the same time, it can be a noun as well.
I think it's also a way, at least just for me, like a way to prove that it's like it's real or genuine.
Right.
It's easy.
Proof. Yeah. Show proof for sure. Like someone can say they love you all they want, but if they never have the action to back it up, then duh, right? But and even if someone never says it, but they have tons of action, like that person loves you. Like that would typically be like, I would say like a male figure in your life. Historically, maybe they don't say those words, but like, are they always there for you?
100%. That's what that made me think of. It's more like a philosophical approach of the beyond good and evil. But to put an example behind it would be that, where like you walk in, or like what you said, we walk in like, yeah, imagine. Or if you ask somebody, would you help me hide this dead body? Like there is a deep.
That's closer to it. It's like no questions asked. Will you help me handle this? Like like that's outside of the law. Like that's probably bad, right? But like the good part is like I'm helping the person I care most about.
Mm-hmm.
The bad would be like,
yeah. So then it's outside the spectrum.
The bad would be like probably helping them do something nefarious.
Yeah. Don't ask any questions. Oh, it's just a dead crow.
Yes, dude, it's just an old rug, babe. Please don't ask any more questions. Please use a shovel. Just grab the shovel, please. Go.
Roll.
154. Objection, evasion, joyous distrust, and love of irony are signs of health. Everything absolute belongs to pathology.
I thought this was good. I like this a lot.
These are just like a check mark list of like, am I living a healthy life? Like spiritually, emotionally, maybe mentally. It's like, do I find objections with the things that I'm facing sometimes? Good. You should, do I find myself evading some things? It's like, that's probably good too. Some things are bad. We should evade things. Joyous distrust. Like, for me personally, like when I read that, I think of like the government and stuff. And like, I do like, I see news articles and I get almost excited to be like, look at these fucking retards trying to like shove more propaganda down our throats. The love of irony are signs of health. It's just like, and like, I love it all, like the irony of it all, like, I don't know. So,
yeah.
The irony being like to look back and be like, wow, like it really is just too funny, I don't know. When I read that, that's,
Pathology again? Everything absolute belongs to pathology.
Isn't that like thinking?
Pathology is the study of disease, including its causes, progression, and effects on tissues and organs.
Diseases on tissues and organs.
Pathology, Nietzsche.
And everything absolute, I'm taking like in the form of maybe like everything that's.
Yeah, like white or black.
Yeah.
Like good or bad.
Everything absolute is bad. In the context of Nietzsche's philosophy, pathology refers to a state of decline, weakness, or a condition that hinders the flourishing of life.
No good.
When I read this, it took me a second, but it made me think of so objection is fight, evasion is flight, joyous distrust is will, and love of irony or humor. So it's like fight, flight, will, and humor are signs of health.
Okay.
That's kind of what that's what I was, when I was reading it, that's what I got.
I see that. I like that. Okay. You should be critically thinking. Real talk. To summarize it. You should be critically thinking. If you find yourself critically thinking about stuff, that's a sign of good health.
Right.
You know what Ben actually told me yesterday? He was like, because we were talking about kids. He's a teacher, and he teaches what, math or English?
History at 7th grade.
And I was telling him, I was like, yeah, I think not the thought and the physical aspect of raising children is what I'm afraid of. It's more of the knowing that I lose control of sort of like what else is going in their brain. And he's like, so we went into like a deep conversation around having kids, and he was like, dude, at the end of the day, my dad gave me great advice. He's like, most people walking around, and I think why this came to mind because you said critically thinking, John. He's like, most people walk around not thinking and they're not aware of the actions that they want to take, maybe for the future or now. He's like, my dad told me, if you're aware of it and you're consciously asking yourself questions about maybe something in the future, you're already prepared enough to take on that challenge. And it had me think, like, I've heard that in a few different ways where you are aware of maybe what you don't know, what you do know, but you're thinking about it at a level where you're contemplating it. And the next step is just action. And so it's just interesting because we're talking about kids and the critically thinking aspect of everything is it just takes that little bit of awareness to maybe get you moving in that light. And
instead of acting like reactively with life, so you're playing chess.
And
if you think like you do your life like chess, you're more than likely ready to do it.
So I thought it was just really cool insight. I thought it was really interesting because he said his dad told him that when he was really young.
Yeah,
and I was like, that's kind of awesome.
Yeah, that is really cool. All right, my computer needs a plug-in, so I'll be right back.
Okay, I'll continue with standby. Yeah,
Dude, the guy at the gas station accidentally sold me 6s instead of 3s, and I put a 6 in it. I was like, I'm fucked all of it. I got to go spend more money on 3s. I don't want to do the 6s and get used to them. I like doing the 3s.
Put some hair on your chest, bro.
Bro, you've seen my chest. Don't even start. I've had hair on my chest before you had hair on your balls, bro. We're the same. They lost us before you came out one.
That's funny. We need to make this Zen commercial, bro.
fucking do it.
All right. Yeah. Let's do it.
Just fucking do it.
I was thinking about it, like, it's either going to be like the Chew 5 gum kind of thing, or the satire kind of humor of like going through something that's like really annoying, but when you take,
Dude, we can do both. We can do both.
but also the Snickers thing, it's like when someone's hella angry and they're like, here's a Snickers, bro, and they like chill out. It's got to be like something that ties all those together.
We could do both. Like, you know how it's like, I don't know, man. The Zen right after like you had a big meal. It's like that's like the Snickers thing. It's like, ugh, dude, dessert. Ugh.
Yeah.
Even halfway, dog. What the heck, dog?
This is you. What do you mean we're halfway?
With the whole book.
Well, I don't know what you guys. I went ahead and finished chapter 4. I forgot what we were supposed to read, so
Just another 20.
yeah. So I can't count, so I just went ahead and finished it.
All right. Let's continue with 155.
I got you guys. All right, hang on. Aphorism 155. The sense of the tragic increases and declines with sensuousness. So sensuousness is being deeply in touch with the senses.
Oh, see, I thought it meant like sexy time. I guess that's sensual.
Well, that's what most people think of too, That's why I was like, yeah, I didn't want, I was like, what does this really mean? You know, just to be really in touch with your senses.
What do you say of the tragic specifically? The sense of the tragic increases and declines with sensuousness.
I guess here's pretty straightforward, but if you're sensuous, you're more in touch with your senses. The more in touch you are with your senses, the more likely you are to encounter tragedy.
Okay.
Or
experience tragedy.
Or decreases.
Or it decreases, right?
Because then you know yourself, you're like, bro, it's fine, dude. It's not a big deal.
See, there's like a bell curve. Like if tragic is the bell curve, it's like, okay, where it's tragedy, but you know yourself well enough to where you can like bring yourself back down to like reality.
It goes back to that meme. It's good. The meme of the bell curve with the guy with the hood on.
I hold the
Bible. Oh, we're so bad. We're so over.
I hold it and forget. And then it's like, I buy when wed.
So
that's me right now. Buying when wed? Question mark?
Yeah, that's fine.
okay.
Yeah, that's all. It reminds me of a bell curve.
Yeah, man, that's a good way to do it. Math is great for that.
156.
156. John, go ahead.
Insanity in individuals is something rare, but in groups, parties, nations, and epochs, it is the rule.
I thought this was, it made me just think of, like, and I always reference this, but just because it's like so recent our times, but during COVID, so many people as a group, I thought like we're insane. Like, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, you know? And like the people were like over and over again, like trusting propaganda, being told to like not trust their own senses. And like, if you would talk to them one-on-one, they might disagree. But the fact that they're a group and they're all collectively agreeing to do this thing, I was like, people have gone fucking insane. Like, I'm watching people actually stand 6 feet apart and like get mad if I don't do so. If I don't wear a mask, I'm like, are you guys crazy?
But you're kind of like grouping the party as like a whole. Like, not like, you're kind of saying like these people. Like the people, like everybody, not just like this one person. You know what I mean? Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Okay, just making sure.
I'm saying like individually, if I would have asked them to like erode their morals and their principles and their identity because like they're scared of a little virus, they would probably say no. But like collectively, these people, the nation, like the state of California, we're like, we're going to close all the stores. We're going to close school. We're going to demand that you get vaccinated and wear the mask. You know? And they were like, okay, I guess we're doing that now.
It's the mob mentality, right? That's what he's cautioning against here, really is. Like, as an individual, I can have a conversation with anybody and be like, oh, okay, they're not really that crazy. But when they get dropped into a group where everybody's like, 2 legs bad, 4 legs good, and then they exactly. It's like, now we just adopt that, and as a group we're the mob mentality. But you take that one person out of it, you like, they're not that crazy unless fully bought in and they're just like all times, you know, their phone.
But the only reason like even if you would bring them alone at that point is because like they know the group is still holding it wrong, you know. So it's not the same, you know.
But yeah, the example I think it's completely different from what we're talking about, but it's when we were at Devil's Post Pile and we recognized all the spiders. Yeah. I think individually, none of us would have stayed there on our own. It's the group. So I think of insanity would have been like if you were there by yourself with that fire, not a fucking.
We're like, oh, it's all good. Everybody's like, oh, with each other. Here's all over our body. That's a good line. That honestly, like, you would turn the flashlight on at the top drown with these stars. The light off. It's like, if they don't exist. It's cool. Like,
well, yeah. If I go myself, I'm sleeping in my car, bro.
I don't think anybody would have done that by themselves.
That's a good point. Yeah. We all looked at each other like, lights off?
Yeah, that's for my mind when it was like, if you do something of something that most people wouldn't do, the rareness, are sort of looked at almost insane. but it kills people. It makes it more bearable.
Yeah, they tell other people what you did as a group, and they're like, "You stayed in those spiders."
Like, what's
Dude,
fucking
dude, like, Dev, I remember when I was laying on the ground looking at the stars, and you're like, dude, the spiders, and I had totally forgotten about just the floor of spiders. Oh my god, dude!
You drank ignorance is bliss, bro. He even ignorance is bliss.
I'm thinking about it like, dude, like Ace was just laying on the ground, dude, like spiders and all, like I maybe gave him a tarp, like I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, I was like, "Just zip up the tent. It's all good, dude. Just zip the tent up."
That was crazy, bro. It was crazy.
I'm scared.
I was scared.
Oh shit! Oh man! Now I have my truck, so I don't have to do that bullshit. And that was crazy. All right.
This one?
Yeah, let's see. We're on
167.
157.
Oh wait, no.
157.
157.
Top left. All right. I'll go ahead and read it. 157. The thought of suicide is a great consolation. By means of it, one gets successfully through many a bad night.
Yeah, I thought this was funny. It was like, yeah, I mean, I thought it was funny. It's like, I mean, yeah, you do get through many bad nights if you just kill yourself. There's no more. You know, that's true.
ChatGPT helped me with this one. And it said, contemplating an exit can make the human mind more durable, even in the case of suicide. So like, let's say there's something you're doing that you don't want to do, or there's something you're dreading that you have to do. Just thinking of an exit, even if it's suicide, makes it more bearable. Like I could get out of it. I
just wrote down tragic. I was like, that's tragic.
I just think he's like, yeah, dude, I mean, like, you don't have any more bad nights if you just kill yourself.
Yeah.
He's like, just funny if you think about it that way.
You fully support the exit pods.
What's that?
Do I support the government making suicide pods and advertising suicide pods and like having your doctors suggest suicide pods? I would say no. But like, if you are retarded enough to go want to kill yourself, if you're healthy, then go for it. I mean,
wait, what was that pod?
Supposing that.
Did you know the first suicide pod person, the pod didn't work, so the doctors opened it up and strangled them to death? Look it up.
You did fucking Homer Simpson.
Look it up, dude.
This woman was shooting gas chamber or something.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you know those things that we're mad about Germany doing. Well, Canada's doing it right now, dude. Fucking they're like sleek and white looking, like Apple. They look like if Apple made a suicide pod, that's what they look like. You get in and they're in Canada, but the first one, this woman, it didn't work. It didn't kill her all the way, so this doctor strangled her.
That's terrible.
Did you find it, Jack?
Looking still.
Bullshit at home.
Because he's got one hand.
Do that. Click on that first article, and then maybe just do find. Yeah, click on it, and then do Control F and type in like strangle or like what is that? Strangulation.
They found like strangulation marks on her throat, and the autopsy showed that she was like strangled of her cause of death. Not
in Switzerland.
Maybe I thought it was Canada, but I could be wrong.
That's all bad, bro.
I had no idea that was going on. Fucking suicide pods.
In Canada, for real, it's a thing. If you go to the doctor, they're like, "Hey, I know you have cancer. You could do chemo, but have you thought about just killing yourself?" And they're like, "Oh, our health insurance is free." It's like your doctors are literally like, "It's free because they're just killing you."
Damn.
Yeah, I can find it.
Dude, what? Let me find it.
Medical assistance in dying. That's crazy.
That's the Kevorkian thing.
The what?
Kevorkian was the doctor that was doing assisted suicides and got in trouble.
Like terminally ill, like death, like there people are terminally like dying.
Well, most of his cases were like they're already dying, but just wanted to get it over with, you know?
Why would someone even make that technology? That's insane to me, bro. Why does it look like that?
The woman who has yet to be a
Guys, dude, I'm trying to.
She flew to Switzerland to obtain an assisted suicide using a hideously sleek invention. Her death earlier last week marks the first time someone is known to have used the pod for its intended purpose.
Yeah, I see right here. Strangulation marks found after assisted suicide pod fails. How could we not find this, Jay? This is like the third link that popped up. Swiss authorities are investigating the death of a terminally ill American woman after she was reportedly found with unexplained strangulation marks, having attempted to use the new assisted suicide technology. The 64-year-old woman was the first. Yeah, okay.
That was
Crazy. Yeah, I had to keep reading the story.
damn, holy shit! What a world!
All right.
All right. Canada's tripping. All right.
Dislike. 158. Not only our reason, but also our conscience truckles to our strongest impulse, the tyrant in us.
Truckles. I'm gonna truckle you.
Chuck your ass away. All right, I got it right here. Our strongest impulses and desires override rational thinking and moral compass. We are often ruled by deep primal urges, per ChatGPT.
Yes, we are.
Yep.
Can you think of a time? Anybody got a story?
Yeah, right there. That's all you need to do. That's it.
I can keep it. Yeah.
On a full
When
moon.
the pants man wakes up, dude, logic goes out the door, bro. I'll tell you that.
On a full moon, dude, you don't want to run into me.
Everybody's thinking of an idea right now. It's a memory. They're like, ooh, yeah, that could have done without that one. Any thoughts? Anything you guys want to share? Sounds like, yeah, this one time in 6th grade camp.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah, you know what it is. If you're watching, you know what it is. You're thinking about it. All right.
159.
Aphorism 159.
All right. One must repay good and ill, but why just to the person who did us good or ill?
Would like to put in this one, he's got the word must, like one must, and it's like, it's like it's different, so there's emphasis on that. One must.
Might be the karma.
Repay good. I know you could repay ill, repay good. Okay.
What do you mean? What is?
Well, for sure you can repay good. Just
Yeah.
being good, helping out someone.
Could ill just be revenge?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I think he's talking about the ripple effect here, right? So if you do good or ill to somebody, or they do good or ill to you, the direct party is the other person. But he's like, you also have to consider all the other stuff too. So why just to the person who did this good or ill?
Typically, when you repay both of those things, it's to someone.
No. Well, no, it doesn't have to be. No, I think it's what he's getting at.
Yeah, that's where he's getting.
Like, okay, like, here, common trend that happens, like when it's like the whole Starbucks thing. It's like, hey, I'll pay for the person behind me, and then you go to the drive-thru and they're like, hey, the person in front of you pay for your drink, and you're like, and they're like, do you want to pay for the person behind your drink? They're like,
right,
sure, and they like,
that's a big pharma order for 37 drinks. Like you didn't.
Did you say big pharma?
Yeah.
Luigi
Mahomes, he said.
Never mind, I don't even pay that one.
Yeah, nah. I'll pay for one of them.
You said me for you.
What's their total?
Yeah, wait.
Have you seen
that? Have you seen that video? Oh man,
I'll pay for one.
I'll pay for one. Damn it, I don't even know what it's called. You must not be seeing this. What, you know the white dude, the comedy? Pay
The what?
for the drink behind.
Have you guys seen the movie Pay It Forward?
Nope. Don't watch movies. Can't give it no more.
Never mind.
This one, pay it for.
Oh yeah, I see.
All right, so here's your small fries and your small drink.
I'd like to pay for the guy's meal behind me too. Just pay.
Wow, that's really nice of you.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe I'll catch on.
All right, well, you have a great day, sir.
Why could I drive something? Yeah, that's 350. Yeah.
Please let me go! Please let me go first! I'm doing something!
How can I take your order? 55 burgers, 55 fried chicken.
55 Coke, 100 tenders, up to 100 pizza, 100 tenders.
Oh my gosh.
55 wings, 55 shakes, 55 pancakes, 55 coffee, 55 Jefferson, 155 standard.
That'll be $680.
Okay.
Hey, come on! What the hell's going on up there?
Not paying it. You have to. The guy did it for you. Yours. The guy. Oh, just doing your reps. Like, hey, what the hell's going on up there?
This guy's trying to start a pay it forward chain.
Oh my god.
Pull that shit on me. You win. That's fine. I just wanted to do something good this morning before alcohol class.
Before alcohol class.
I'm doing something. I'm doing.
Oh man. All right. Where were we?
160.
We're on 160. All right. One no longer loves one's knowledge sufficiently after one has communicated it.
Yeah. Yep. That's easy.
Yeah. It loses a little bit of that shine.
Well, not just that. Like, you have nothing new to talk about then. Okay, like, you hang out with a friend all the time, or you hang out like, if you have a roommate, for example, or, like, you hang out with your friend all the time, and, like, when I go hang out with my dad, one of the things we do is we love telling each other about, like, the newest things we heard about the week, okay? But once I tell them, then they're no longer a new thing, okay?
Right.
It's now a thing that both him and I know. So now what? There's nothing to talk about. We've already talked about it, you know?
Yeah.
So it's not enough anymore, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. Once you share the knowledge, it's not as shiny and new anymore.
It's not new anymore. Now,
Right.
minimum 2 people know about it, you know?
It's only shiny the second, like, if you build off of it, you know?
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right. 161.
Poets
Oh, sorry. Nope, sorry, dude.
Poets act shamelessly towards their experiences. They exploit them.
I wrote music.
I didn't get this one.
Well, I mean, poets or musicians, I think, like, capture their emotion very well, and they shamelessly, like, exploit that experience and, like, capture something that's, like, I think largely, like, more largely, like, it's part of, like, the collective, like, human experience. And, like, we listen to those poets that, like, writes a poem about love or tragedy or whatever, and, like, we're like, wow, he really touched on something there. Or when you hear a song and you're like, wow, that is what heartbreak feels like, or this is what, like, being away from home feels like. It's like poets are people who are, like, are able to, like, capture their experiences and, like, share them shamelessly, you know, and like exploit them, and like for us, the viewer, the consumer, to like enjoy, you know.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, comedians talk about this all the time, how they like use their life as a muse. And then sometimes when they tell a joke about a person that's in their life, they get upset, you know?
For sure.
So they're exploiting their life for the sake of creation.
Well, like typically you wouldn't share something that vulnerable about yourself, like to let alone a few people, but like let alone like the whole world. But like a musician will write about like maybe one of the hardest times of their life. And they're like, this is my new hit single.
Right.
At my lowest.
Yeah.
So that's what the title's called.
Contemplating suicide.
Yeah, gun in my mouth. I do hit single. Do I pull the trigger?
Yeah.
Dude, this one's a banger, isn't it? Like it turns out like you they should we check on him? Like, dude, don't. He's making such good music.
Then they end up passing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking about Juice WRLD. Literally, he's like screaming for help, and so it's like
The entire time, he's just like, help me.
yeah, dude.
It's so sad. And I'm abusing drugs. Everyone's like, dude, what a banger.
Yeah,
Never thought to like call him.
yeah.
Dude, like, are you okay?
I mean, the same thing happened with Mac Miller. You listen to like Circles and Swimming Pools, and you can hear it in the music. You can hear like it's like, please, you know, somebody help.
Please.
You can hear the drowning in it. And,
for sure.
Yeah. All right. 162. Our fellow creature is not our neighbor, but our neighbor's neighbor. So thinks every nation.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Fellow creature, like a dog.
Nah.
You know, like other humans.
Yeah.
Even though we know other people are human, we keep them at a distance through detachment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Empathy extends so far.
It's just the other, dude. Like, I think there's like, right now we're trying to live in a world where like everyone, it's like the world economy, like the world politics, okay? And like, you have to weigh everyone on the scale all at once. And like, I fucking just can't deal with that. Like, you know, it's like, if we do that, maybe the priorities stop aligning with what I want, you know? So like, maybe my empathy stops at the American border, you know? And he's like, and so does every country. They think that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, it could be even small. Like my empathy stops like outside of my four walls. Like some people could think that way, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like you said, empathy extends only so far. Like, what's he say here? So like our neighbor, it's not our neighbor, it's our neighbor's neighbor. So like, you go to the gas station, you talk small talks or whatever to the person in the cashier, but ultimately that's just another person, you know? That's not my neighbor. Some people, they treat it like that, but there's a lot of people in our lives that we just kind of keep at an arm's distance because they just don't need to be our neighbor.
Then up.
All right.
163.
Love brings to light the noble and hidden qualities of a lover. His rare and exceptional traits is thus liable to be deceptive as to his normal character.
I like this. It made me think of it. Okay, the end part. It is thus liable to be deceptive as to his normal character. Okay, so like, if love brings to light the things you keep hidden from most people, so like your lover sees the things that you keep hidden from most people, it might seem like you're being deceptive with your normal character because like you're hiding these things, you know? Or like, is that character that you show most of the world, is that even your true self? And I'll be like, yeah, it is, just not all of it all the time.
True.
Yeah. Would that even be considered deceptive then?
You deceive yourself, right? I mean, you first get with somebody, here's how I'm taking it. It's like being in love, brings to light the noble and hidden qualities of the lover, right? So you see that person as exceptional and rare, and then you are liable to be deceived as to the person's normal character. You see this person as like they're the perfect thing, right? And so because like you're only seeing what this is, you basically deceive yourself to be like, his normal character is this amazing thing.
This is kind of confusing.
Like when you're in love, you're more likely to overlook flaws. It blinds you.
And yeah, I agree with you. But that first sentence says it brings light to noble and hidden qualities of the lover.
Well, I get that. Like, I get the first part what Jay's saying. It's like when you're in love with someone, they're like the apple of your eye. You know, you're like, wow, everything fucking about them is awesome. But I was thinking more like because that person loves you, they're open. You know, they open like the path of the conduit of like you being able to share things that you typically wouldn't share. Okay.
Yeah.
And I feel like those things are the things that are in contrast with your normal character, you know, because like you can't wear those things on your everyday mask. It's like impossible, you know?
Yeah.
Like only your lover sees that side of you.
Excuse me. Yeah.
And she still accepts it because she thinks like everything about you is awesome, you know? Which could be the fooling part, but yeah.
Is Nietzsche gay? He's gay. He's saying who is his and his. You get.
Why are you gay? I was never gay. Exactly.
Perhaps. All right. Yeah, 164. Go ahead.
All right. Aphorism 164. Jesus said to his Jews, the law was for servants. Love God as I love him, as his son. What have we sons of God to do with morals? I thought, I looked this up. I had ChatGPT on me. I typed this one in, and ChatGPT was like, "Oh hell yeah, let's dive deeper." Like,
Really?
Yeah, it's starting to talk like
What? Why is it doing that? I don't like how it's trying to be like that nowadays. I liked it when it was more just like factual, like trying to be like, "Oh hell yeah, let's unpack this." I'm like, "Whoa, bro! Did I tell you to become a Cali, bro? I wanted you to be a robot."
Yeah. Essentially, he said, so Jesus didn't verbatim say this, but Nietzsche's like putting words into Jesus' mouth. So I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, this obviously is okay. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So he came down. The Pharisees tried to enforce the law. God was like, "We're not doing that," right? Sabbath and all those things. And he said, "We're going to love God as I love him," and that's as his son. And as his sons, what do we have to do with morals? Like it's already laid down. God does all the thinking about morality. We just stick to the code.
Yeah, which is nice.
Right. Requires less thinking.
It's less weight, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. If you have to judge morality, you're going to be fucking busy 24/7.
Yeah, you gotta do it all the time. Yeah, exactly.
And so like we love God as Jesus loved God as his son. And as his sons, we look to God for morality. We don't look to laws as morality.
Yeah, because is it kind of getting to the point like that some laws, in order to uphold, like say something good, need to be broken?
Yeah, I mean, in the Old Testament, it talks about you can't eat shellfish.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, David.
you can't
do that.
Can't be bald. There's some stuff like that in the Old Testament, and it's like, if that's the case, then
Like I like shrimp, though.
yeah,
Oh, your ball?
I did.
The devil's in the.
So it has gotten to the point where like we had to let go of some of that stuff. You can't tattoo your skin, you know.
A receding hairline is the sign of the devil.
We're all fucked. John, you gotta get dog. John first wiped off.
It's like, damn, dude, I always knew I was a sinner, but now it's
It's over. Yeah, see, so there's things. I could see what he's saying, but I could also see if somebody read this, right, and they kind of took it as like the easy way out. So the law is for servants. We don't do that. We love God as his son, as I do as his son. And as the sons of God, why do we be moral? We could just be forgiven.
Why be moral?
Yeah.
So I can see how somebody could take it the other way too. But for me, I'm taking it as like God already gives us the morals. If dad tells us this is what it is, this is what it is. We just stick to the code.
Stick to the code.
Yeah.
The G code.
Like, scroll. Aphorism 165. In sight of every party, a shepherd has always need of a bellwether, or he has himself to be a weather occasionally. So a bellwether is a sheep that leads the flock. So you have like a sheep that's like your bottom bee, you know what I'm saying? She does whatever. You're like, we're going this way. She goes, the other sheep follow her, right? But in some cases, he has to be the weather himself. So we all need help, but sometimes we have to be the leader yourself.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
retweet.
All right.
True.
166. One may indeed lie with the mouth, but with the accompanying grimace, one nevertheless tells the truth.
Yep.
True. Yep. Body language tells the truth.
Yep.
Right out there.
Yeah, body language.
All right. 167. Go ahead, John.
To vigorous men, intimacy is a matter of shame and something precious. Yep.
Yeah.
True.
So to vigorous men, intimacy is shameful and valuable.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the classic, like, cowboy archetype is the first thing I think of, and like American Westerns. The cowboy would think like intimacy. There's always like the dynamic of like he's rescuing some like woman during this showdown, Yeah. And she's like, why won't you like show me your real side? He's like, shut up, woman. And he probably slaps her or something, But in that he ends up being vulnerable at one point, because it is valuable, because like he ends up loving her or whatever, So I think it's like the whole like manly men. It's like they think it's shameful to be intimate, but they do see that like it is valuable. That like if with the right person, like you can be vulnerable with the right person, like maybe one time in your entire life.
Just watch Borat too, and I'll tell you everything you need to know about that one. Vindicate.
All right. Aphorism 168. Christianity gave Eros poison to drink. He did not die of it, certainly, but degenerated to vice. So Eros is the Greek god of love and desire, and anyone who is struck with his arrow falls for their desires.
Is that why he uses drink as the...
Right, so Christianity gave Eros, the god of love and desire, poison to drink. So love and desire didn't die, but it degenerated into vice. It's but instead lust.
Well, Christians love everybody,
Lust, though, that's desire, right? So, like, if you're lusting, lust is a sin, right? If you have greed, that's a desire. As Christianity makes these things sin, right? So, what he's saying is Christianity poisoned desire, the god of love and desire, and didn't kill it, but now made him actually sins.
Philosophicis.
Philosophy.
All right, I'm good.
You're toast.
Yeah. Did we go 20 yet or no?
No, the next one's the last one.
Okay, let's go.
All right. Aphorism 169. To talk much about oneself may also be a means of concealing oneself.
The mask.
The mask. Yeah, I mean, I know people that talk a lot about themselves, and I hadn't thought about this, but at the same time, I could see it. Like, let me show you what's in this hand without telling you what's
over here. Look over here. Look over here. Please don't acknowledge the other things about me.
Yeah. Don't look behind the what's it called?
The curtain.
Curtain. Don't look behind the curtain, Wizard of Oz, you know?
Yeah.
So, yep.
Turns out he was just a man.
Just a man. All right. That wraps up this week's reading. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of Paradyme Podcast. Before we head out, I want to ask you guys what your guys' favorite aphorism was from the past 20. And that starts at 149.
All right. Hang on.
I think it for me is the 156 because it connects to something so personal to me, like in us actually.
Uh-huh.
So it was just a memory that was like really. So it was a good.
Yeah, that was a good one. Didn't even think of that. That was a good pull.
That was a good pull. You thought about it a different way. That's why I like it a lot.
Yeah, we were insane for sure. That was insane. I liked 151. It is not enough to possess a talent. One must also have your permission to possess it, my friends. There's a lot of people that have blessings, but refuse to employ them. So give yourself some permission, self-accept, and work with what you got.
True. I liked 164. I think I liked when we were talking about how it's not up to us to decide what morality is, just whatever dad says and then follow the code.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's whatever dad says.
Yeah, we got the code. We got the code. Why are we trying to think more about the code if it's already given to us?
I like 167. It just reminds me of like Stoicism. So I really like the one Devin said too, but that way we just picked something different.
Nice. Cool. All right, go ahead and drop down in the comment section below what was your favorite aphorism from this week's read. Tell us why. Love to connect with you. Follow us on our social media platforms, like the video, subscribe to the video, hit the little bell next to the subscribe button so you can get notified whenever we upload a new episode. Thank you guys again for tuning in. And always remember, who you are now equals who you'll be tomorrow. Peace.